morning, anybody and everybody. Something occurred to me the other day. I think that after you've ridden for a while, you forget that there's constantly people that are joining this motorcycle world, that are new to it, that want information. A real common thing that comes up on the forums, I mean literally probably once a week at least, is a new rider wondering what's the best first bike to get, what's the best learner bike, best beginner bike, whatever you want to call it. And you know, the question gets answered so much that after you ride for a while, you consider it to be irrelevant. But it's always relevant, because there's always somebody who's new to this. So the best beginner bike, personal opinion, a bike that you don't care about. If you ask any experienced rider what bike to start on, almost all of them are going to recommend a 250 because it's manageable. You start to learn you know, where the clutch is, where the brake is, where the rear brake is, where the shifter is. And you don't have to do it with some monster of an engine underneath you. I also think it's important to get a bike that you're not going to care about. Because if you're getting a bike just to learn, there's going to be a couple things that are almost guaranteed to happen. Number one, you're probably going to drop it or run it into a ditch, like I did with my first bike. And the second thing is that you're going to want to sell it. Some people, they think, oh, I'm going to get into riding, and yeah, I'm going to get a GSXR 600, and because that's my dream bike, you know. And I don't even know how to ride. I don't know the first thing about motorcycles, but that's what I'm going to ride. It's a beautiful bike. They love it. They run it into a ditch. They bust off all the fairings. They scrape up the side of the engine case. They bust off levers, all kinds of levers. Even if they're fine, the bike that you were just so excited to get is now destroyed. And it's also going to be, those types of bikes are also going to be more expensive. And so your odds of getting another bike are pretty low. I mean, unless you're rolling in dough, you know, you can get whatever you want and then replace it when it's wrecked. But starting on a smaller bike that you don't care about, let's say that you start on, I mean, you know, take your pick. Take your pick. You get a small 250. Let's say that you think it's ugly. It's the color. You don't like the color. You don't. It's not really that comfortable. That bike is perfect because when you drop it, you won't care. When you run it off the road, you won't care. When you go to sell it, you'll be glad to get rid of it. Just get something cheap. And that's what I consider to be a good beginner bike or a good learner bike. I am so glad. Whoa. I am so glad that I didn't run this bike into the ditch. Because this is the bike I wanted. You know, I didn't know it at the time, but if I had just went down and bought this bike, I probably would have ran it into the ditch in the exact same place. And then I would have been out of bike. And I wouldn't have been able to get another one. I probably wouldn't ride today because it would have been a bad experience, a really bad experience. That's it for today. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.